What's up, humans, and welcome to a new Psicoactivo. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Okay, I just finished an interview with Dr. Julia Mosbridge. It was a wonderful episode, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. It's already up in the channel. We talk about a lot of different great topics: the Future Intelligence Agency, whether a possible Stargate project with a different name, the possibility that it exists. We talk about the telepathy tapes, her work on that. We talk about the GATE program, how she was part of something that preceded the GATE program. And there's a lot of stuff in there that I think you guys are going to like. This was a really cool conversation. I really enjoyed it. Thank you to Dr. Mosbridge for it. While we were recording, there were a couple of really cool episodes that dropped from Danny Jones and Julian Dory. Dory had Chris Ramsey, who's a friend of the show, on his show. They spoke for 3 hours and they talked about a wide range of things. And every time I hear Chris talking, I do get the sense that he kind of already has access to really privileged information that he can't discuss, but he talks around it a little bit so people can maybe catch onto what he knows. I will leave a link in the description for that one. But today I want to talk about Thomas Campbell, who is a lifelong professional applied physicist. He began a parallel career in the 1970s researching altered states of consciousness with Bob Monroe, who is the founder of the Monroe Institute. And he's mostly known for his My Big Toe series, which talks about his theories of everything. And he, alongside Dr. Donald Hoffman and probably Rizwan Burke, I think they're talking about this simulation theory in different takes. And I think Dr. Jacobo Greenberg also spoke about something very similar, but not exactly, because Greenberg talked about how we are the ones creating reality, whereas the rest of them talk about the simulation as the reality. And Thomas Campbell, who used to work at NASA as well, spoke to Danny Jones on his podcast. And there was a snippet that Danny Jones posted on X that is creating a little bit of a rift to the abductees. And he discusses the abduction phenomenon, his take on it. And it's controversial, I'm not going to lie. And we'll just talk about the things that probably abductees don't agree with and some of the things that maybe they do. But let's see what he says. So here it is on Danny Jones' podcast. This is what Danny Jones wrote. Consciousness researcher Thomas Campbell claims to have solved the alien abduction phenomenon. He says aliens are something we create with our mind, something similar to what Greenberg said, but not exactly. Abduction experiences are just a fear test given to us by the universal system of consciousness. Listen to what he has to say and let me know if you agree or not. I'll pause a little bit when I find something that I want to analyze, just for those who are not used to this. And let's see it.
But what do you make of these corroborated experiences and sightings of these like flying saucers, or if you want the stuff that the Harvard psychiatrist John Mack talked about with these abduction experiences, people being sucked up into spaceships and having their eggs and sperm extracted, and talking about they're from the future and they look like children with like little bodies, big heads and eyes. Like it's obviously like something that he's interviewed hundreds of people and they all explain the same exact thing. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, these are things that happen within consciousness. Okay, there is no physical reality. We only have the information that we're fed in a data stream. That is our reality. Well, I shouldn't say that. Our interpretation of that is our reality. Now, there are, if you want to, again, put a spaceship someplace or subduct into a spaceship and have somebody operating on you, that's just data in a data stream. Now, you feed that data stream yourself. Remember, I said there's 3 ways you get data. You get data from the large kind of systems, you get data from other IUSCs, and you get data from yourself. You create it. And most of your experience is a hodgepodge of all 3 of those. So, that experience of being beamed up and then had something done to you,
Yeah.
that's a standard fear test kind of experience. The system does a lot of fear testing to see what you're ready for next. What can it put into your data stream that will help you grow up? What level are you? Where are you? And what kind of things are going to help you grow up rather than frighten you and make you go backwards? So they do some fear testing, and that's one of the fear tests. It's kind of a standard test, so a lot of people get that. And if they get a very fearful approach to it, oh no, who are these people? What are they doing? I feel totally helpless. I'm out of control. Oh, they're going to do this and that to me. If you get that, then your own fear will start to add to that story. And it'll get worse, and it'll get horrible, and they'll do worse things to you. You'll start to add to the story. And that is one fear test, and a lot of people get fear tests. There's a lot of other fear tests that people get. People who start going out of body, often they'll run into monsters.
Yeah.
They get out of body for the first time and they meet some kind of monster with big bloody teeth or something, and they run and jump back in their body and it's gone. And now they're upset with themselves because they've been wanting to get out of body for years, and they finally do, and they run from it.
That's wild to hear somebody who is so accomplished talk about abductions like that, because to me, it shouldn't be trivialized like that, because there's a lot of people that have physical consequences to the abduction experience.
Those kinds of tests, we get those while we're dreaming. We get those can just happen to us. We get a data stream. We may be sitting on the back porch at 2:00 in the afternoon, perfectly sober, and get that in our data stream. And there may be 5 people with us that all get the same thing in their data stream. So everybody sees the flying saucer. It just depends. The system will do that to challenge us, to see at what level we are. And if we feed it with our own fear, then it turns out to be a lot worse than it would be if we didn't. So that's the problem. It's not going to be that the system gives us something horrible. It doesn't. It gives us something that is more benign than that. So
I would love to hear Thomas Campbell explain how people have talked about physical reactions, bleeding. Somebody described being mauled by one of these things. I have a friend in Hawaii who had an abduction experience, and she told me about it. And she explained to me and showed me markings near her legs, close to her ankles, triangular dots, she showed me, and a little protuberance right there, as if something was in there. I would love to hear how Thomas Campbell explains that, because for a lot of people who have experienced these abductions, it's very real. And talking about it being a fear test from the system, I think that maybe it would be a good idea for him to sit down with some of these abductees so he can understand how physical it is for them. But then again, it also coincides a little bit with Greenberg's theory that we create our own reality. So I would just like to have a more detailed explanation from the people that have experienced this, with Mr. Campbell hearing what they have to say. Because, yeah, abductions are much more complex than it just being part of the simulation of sorts. And I'm happy that he's talking about it, though, because it is a matter of debate. It is a very sensitive topic, touchy subject. And people should talk about it more so they can have a more honest debate about what's happening, because experiencers are the most ignored people within the UFO community, and they're the most ridiculed people within the UFO community, and ignored as well. And unless they're heard and people hear what they have to say about their experiences, it's going to remain that way. And the stigma is going to persist. And at least Danny Jones is talking about it openly with an important figure within the physics community and within the simulation theory community. And it's important, I think. Campbell is a little older than Greenberg, but much of their work complements each other because Thomas also postulates that consciousness is the one that creates reality. Greenberg said that the lattice of reality and the neuronal field interact, and that's how reality is created by us humans. So it would have been really cool to see him talking to Greenberg in a round table or something, and maybe in an alternate reality that's happening right now. Who knows? But let me know what you think about what Thomas Campbell said about abduction experiences being a fear test. He seemed very confident to have solved abductions. And what do you think about this topic being talked about more and more recently? Because it has been. I think it's a good step in the right direction. I think, even if there are still many philosophical differences about the abduction experience, because there's a lot of debate on what they really are. So here's another option for all of you to ponder. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. And let me know what you think about Thomas Campbell's work overall and his My Big Toe collection. Have you read them? Let me know what you think about them. I'll be reading. If you like the content you see, I'm going to ask you to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. That's all you need to do in order to help us, and it is what helps us the most. So thank you. But if you want to support us in other ways, there's a few links down there you can choose from. You can become a member in YouTube, or you can support us through KGRA. Anything you choose to do is always appreciated. So thank you. That's it for me today on this video, but I'll see you guys in the next one. And remember, stay curious and inquisitive like Thomas Campbell always. Bye.